back. This is episode 16 of The Night Show with special guest, my cousin, my blood, Justin Hawkins. We need to air some things out. What it means to be a man and what it means to be a father. So sit back, enjoy the ride, cause you gonna get this work. Night Show.
What are these, Shure mics?
Mm-hmm. The SM7Bs.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
Yeah, same shit Michael Jackson recorded Thriller on.
Wild.
Right?
Absolutely wild.
Hey, man. This is real short notice, man. I mean, especially just coming into town and everything, but I appreciate you wanting to do this. I know you.
It's life. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I'd prefer to have these conversations with you. And I know Jason probably won't want to get on this, but you know, It would be it'd be nice to have all three of us sitting around, you know, growing up in the same house.
He'd be behind the wall.
Yeah, yeah, like back in the church days. Joe, we gotta get the Sunshine Band back together, bro.
Oh man!
Shout out to King Apostle. But what's a good place for you to want to start, man? Like,
what we said we was gonna talk about.
I think a big theme for you, definitely, for all of us, is like fatherhood.
Yeah.
And how that's kind of shaped us.
Yeah, and I mean, man, that's a crazy journey, man.
Yeah.
That's a crazy journey. Whether it's expected or unexpected, and
yeah.
I don't know. I think as being like a black father, you got to try 10 times harder to not be a statistic. So then, in that whole sense, it's like it's more than being one statistic. It becomes being multiple statistics. It becomes you can't have a child and not be with the mother, or now you fit like 3 different statistics instead of one.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't have unplanned children, because then now you fit a whole nother statistic. So, man, it's that fatherhood is wonderful, but society make it so hard, and they judge you so hard because of, I guess, the picture perfect image that you're supposed to fit. And it ain't nothing like that, man.
Yeah.
We make stuff so much harder than what it gotta be. To be honest, like, kids is wonderful. Having kids is awesome, and we make it hard as individuals, or as parents, I guess I should say. But father, I mean, I would never take back being a father. That's somebody's gonna love you regardless. You come home from a bad day at work, man, don't even matter. It's like having a dog times 10.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that relation. Yeah.
People come home, you know what I mean? They say they dog always just happy. Man, kids are always happy. You got to see through whatever little bit of stuff that they might, you know what I mean, be going through or what have you. But kids, at the end of the day, they always glad to see you.
Yeah.
So, man, being a father is cool, man. It's cool. People be looking up to you now. You know that you get to do the stuff that either you didn't get to do or the stuff that you got to do. And, man, it's cool. Like, I got to take my daughter out in the old school today. That stuff, you know what I mean? I couldn't wait to get to do with having a kid, man. You know?
Yeah. I saw y'all driving down the road, and I was like, that's a moment in time.
Man.
Like, she's going to be able to, like,
was so excited. She just looking all around. Mm-hmm. She, we want to drive daddy's race car. That stuff that, man, that's classic moments that, you know what I mean? It's cool when you get to do it by yourself. I enjoy driving around in my car by myself, but getting to watch my kids enjoy it is 10 times cooler than me doing it. Yeah. So, man, fatherhood, man, it's always a journey. It's always different things that you never even know was going to be cool. Like, man, I never thought I would be doing this, but I'm truly enjoying myself. Like, I don't do pumpkin patches and stuff like that, but having kids, you got to start doing stuff like that. And the next thing you know, you start stumbling upon new places that you've never been to, and just man, it's sweet, man. I can't really say much other than that. It's no way to really describe the joys of it because I don't know all the joys of it. When I go through it, I find different things and I'm like, man, this is cool. Nobody ever told me it was gonna be like this or so on and so forth. So it's a different journey for everybody, but at the end of the day, man, it's a journey nonetheless, and it's a good one at that. I can't complain about it by no means. I've been blessed with wonderful kids, obedient kids. They test me, but
Right. Yeah, there's one thing like you have children and like they're empty vessels. So like everything they're doing pretty much is for the first time. So
exactly.
you see how the excitement and the joy and just the joy of just doing something for the first time and just really being excited just to be there,
Yes.
and then sharing it with your dad is just your mom, whatever. But for what we talking about right now, sharing it with your dad is it's a good
And
experience.
it's like getting to go back in time almost to when we never had all the responsibility and so on and so forth. So you get to see like your child, or just not even when you think of it as your child, but just a person truly enjoy a moment without thinking of how you gonna pay for it or whatever problems you got.
Right.
They not old enough to have problems
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
And whatever problems they have, they seem to think that their parents can fix it. They can make it better. So everything at that moment is so sweet because they get to enjoy the moments. Once they get older, they don't get to enjoy the moments no more because
yeah.
they trying to plan, they trying to think ahead so they can stay ahead. You're never gonna be ahead. That's a facade. That's not real. But when the children at those moments, you get to look at them and see them be fully engulfed in that moment, and we don't get to do that anymore. So it makes it 10 times cooler to see a child do it.
Yeah.
Man, it's wonderful. They get to enjoy so much stuff at a young age before they start to let outside stuff start to influence how they do things and what they do and so on and so forth. So enjoy. Anybody with children, man, soak them moments up because sooner or later you're gonna be dealing with your problems and theirs, and
Right.
all that smiling and little scrapes is the only reason they crying or stuff like that is gonna
Right.
be out the window.
Right.
All them, man, I miss getting to see you enjoy this, or I miss getting to see you enjoy that. You used to love doing this, or you used to love doing that. Enjoy it now because life, you know what I mean? It's just gonna eventually take you there. So it's cool to watch the children get to do it now. And I guess I'm a young father, so I'm just starting to kind of get into the whole responsibility thing, worrying about credit and all that crazy stuff. So it's cool to be like kind of in both moments where I'm old enough to realize I'm no longer in that moment, but young enough to enjoy watching my children get to have it.
Right. Right. And it seems like it's super hard to keep that attitude going because you get caught up in I need to provide for them, I need to provide for them, and a lot of times we, especially as men, we bury ourselves in our work to take care of home. But really, all a lot of these kids want is just to go down the street with their dad in the car.
Right.
Like that's all they want. It's
Right.
low maintenance.
And I mean, it's a sad reality where I guess I'm guilty of it also. I mean, I work as much as I can because I'm like, well, if I can provide financially, I know finances are a burden for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I'm like, the more I work, the more money I can generate, and the more that my children, my family don't have to want for a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm guilty of it. It's hard not to because we live in a world where money make it go round. Like
Yeah.
it's sad, but the prices of stuff don't come down.
Right.
So
Right.
it's hard to, as a parent, not work as much as you possibly can or want to work more to create more income because nothing ever gets cheaper, and kids want to do stuff that's more like we grew up and we had Power Wheels if we was fortunate. I remember my grandfather making training wheels out of lawnmower tires for my bicycle. Like we didn't have a whole bunch of like my daughter got tablets. She got an iPhone 6 Plus.
Right.
It don't work,
Right.
but on
she
Wi-Fi
play
she
with it,
can
yeah.
play with her,
Yeah,
her
she
little
play with
apps or whatever. But that stuff costs money.
Right.
Like what our parents were buying versus what we got to buy for our children now is, I guess, not that what we have to buy, but what we choose to buy. It's just like, I mean, look at the Toys R Us thing. How does a toy store go out of business?
Right.
Granted, they're supposed to be coming back, but that'll show you just how the times have changed in general. So it's like I feel like, oh, I'm at mommy's house. I got a tablet, so now I gotta get you a tablet.
Right. To play, yeah, and especially in those situations when you like the parent, you got people co-parenting, like it. If you let too much ego get involved in it, then it becomes this competition of who can provide more, basically distractions for this child.
Of course.
Because you should spend, I think, for real, it should be more time investing in the elementariness of their humanity at like these 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old stages where it's like, how do you talk to people? How do you treat yourself?
Of course.
How do you treat other people? Like, building a relationship with themselves, helping them develop their personality and all that good stuff. But just having, and you see it a lot of times, man, you just see parents just like throw a screen in front of them. And just it's like a distraction for a long time. But all the kids at the house today were just running around, playing just like I we used to. They was playing with sticks, running through leaves. Like
kid stuff, man.
Kid stuff. They don't need $2,000 whatever to you get these kids some chalk and some sticks, some bats and some balls, and they be good to go.
Educational stuff. We're not watching no YouTube or none of that. It's gotta be education. You gotta be learning something.
Yeah.
If it's on a tablet, and I mean, my kid is an outside kid. If you take her outside,
exactly,
and I don't know. I think with the kid thing, I mean, my situation, I'm not with the mother of my children, so I mean, I'm with my youngest daughter's mother, but my other two children, I'm not with their mother. So in the situation where it comes to finances, we feel obligated to buy this or buy that, not because we put $1 on our children, but because society puts $1 on our children.
Yeah, and they do the same thing to us. They just they shame parents into thinking that this is the standard. Like times have changed, and this is now the standard. This is what a real parent does now. But I mean, what about all these kids being raised very well in foreign countries and they don't have that, or just kids in America who are being raised very well and don't have crazy expensive distractions.
It's not really about that, man. I mean, I think about coming up, and I didn't have internet until, man.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't have internet.
Middle school, I think I had internet.
Yeah.
And at that, it was dial up. I couldn't be on the phone and talk to you. I'd be like, look, I'm hanging up. Get on AIM.
Right.
I'd be on there in 3 minutes.
You had to do it, bro. You had to.
They got it, 10 times more sophisticated and in depth now. So it's I mean, you got to change with the times, but I don't know. We don't really, I won't say as far as like the materialistic America, we never needed change. Anything that's been created has been created to make us lazier, to make stuff easier. I mean, in my business, I've been splitting wood for the last 3 days. And last year, I was at Uncle Maurice's house, and I was splitting wood with him, and we had a sledgehammer in the mall. I had a log splitter.
Right.
So I'm just like, just a year ago, I was splitting this stuff by hand.
Right.
It's crazy to think, I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's a better way to do it. But is it?
Yeah.
Is it a better way, or am I just being lazy? It might be quicker, but it's quicker. Why? Because time is money.
Right.
Because now we done put $1 amount on our time. Now we done It's America wild, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey being out here now. I mean, because like you said, the cost of living is going up. Nothing's getting cheaper.
I mean, I even spoke about it today. In a country where I think the debt's in the trillions, maybe.
Yeah, it's like $21 trillion.
21 trillion. But the lottery is at 1.6 billion.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny too, just to see folks get so excited about, oh man, if I get this money, boop 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 boop, and it sounds good.
302.5 million to 1 is the odds.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
somebody got to win it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you got people out here putting their whole check.
Yeah.
On a chance.
Right.
And then the only problem I got with that is they won't invest in themselves.
No, that's the point. That's right where I was about to go. I was like, you want to be a millionaire, but you got all these ideas and no execution. Like, this started off as an idea. Your landscaping company started off as an idea, but you got to take the steps to make it happen.
It's hard work, man, but if you want it, it'll happen. And it's that simple. I mean, and once again, I put a dollar amount on myself.
Exactly.
And was like, I know what I'm worth. I know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I was a union electrician, and I stepped away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Health benefits, full benefits, all that, to start my own company because I can't allow someone else to dictate what I'm worth.
Exactly.
I can't allow someone else to control whether or not I work or don't work or where I work or anything along those lines. There's things I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a gift and I'm good at it, I got to take it and run with it. It's not going to be in vain if I follow what I know. I have a little bit of faith. Everything's going to follow in line, and I've been completely blessed with my business all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And not because of anything that I did, but because I just chose to let it go. Like, whatever, if this is what's for me, then I'm just going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I went from starting the company in the end of May, which is, that's late in the season to be starting to cut grass.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I cut 43 yards, and I'm busier now than I've been all season, and the grass is not even growing. So that don't even make sense. But it's because I stopped letting somebody else put a dollar amount on me.
Yeah.
I know what I'm worth. I know what I need. I know what I think my time is worth. So now I took that. I ran with it. I read a lot. If you want, you can never stop learning.
Right.
Regardless of what your craft is. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm cutting 43 yards, and I got 2 people that work for me, and they make pretty good money, but I still got to come home and read up on my craft. I still got to come home and read about fertilization, lime, how much goes here per square foot, and so much other stuff that I got to do. But it's the beauty in that knowledge, because that knowledge is going to create wealth for me and my family.
Yeah.
And ultimately for the people that work for me.
Mm-hmm.
They get to, come to work in a good environment where I know that your time is worth something.
Right.
I'm not corporate America. I'm just America.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you can't come out here for pennies. You come to work and you work hard just like I got to do it, man, and we can all be successful.
Exactly.
Because working for somebody for pennies and trying to climb your way up this ladder is never, it's good for some people, but it's not good for everybody.
Right.
And if it's good for you, man, take it, run with it, and be the best you can be. If it's not good for you, stop trying to force it, because it's not going to work. It won't work. You're going to hate waking up every day, no matter how good the money is, that it just ain't going to work. If it's right, it's right. If it's not right, find what's right and take it and run with it. I've been telling anybody and everybody I run into, trust your process. 2018, trust your process, because whatever it is, if you got some trust in it, you got faith in it, it's going to work itself out. And man, I've been blessed all year. I can't even say otherwise.
Yeah.
It's because I stopped letting people put a dollar amount on me. Nobody else can tell me what I'm worth. If I go to a job and they're like, "Ooh, you're a little higher than the other people that I talk to," I don't know what to tell you. I know what I'm worth.
All right.
Go call them. Not that I'm too good to lower my price, but I know what I'm worth. I know what my guys are worth, and at the end of the day, once you know your worth, man, you won't accept nothing less than that.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, your work is quality too.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
Absolutely.
that it's kind of hard to beat when you sit there and you talking finagling prices. It's like, all right, what do you want your lawn to look like?
You know what I mean? I do a lot of insurance work, and just with that stuff, I get my foot in the door. Next thing you know, people are like, "Oh, well, I want to get this done." They hear a price and they say, "Oh, it's a little steep, but you did a good job with this insurance work, so let me see how it turns out." Next thing you know, they call me back for this, that, and the third. Yeah,
Right.
my price was a little higher. I wasn't the cheapest, but you got above and beyond what you expected.
Right.
And I mean, that's almost every aspect of life, man. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself.
Yeah. No, and it's funny because, like, you say that. It's just, I think about, like, I've had buddies who are barbers, quality barbers, and people will be like, oh, yeah, man, he mad high. His price is mad high. I'm like, all right, man, I'll check him out. And he spin me around that chair, and I look at that mirror, I'm like,
Right.
Okay.
Can't put a price on this.
Can't put a price on this because it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You walk out the door, and this is what people, they see this, and they're just like, oh. They assume certain things about you based on like how you look.
Present yourself to them without saying, because man, presentation is key.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We clean our cars. We make sure our cars are clean. So if we can't put a price on a good detail, so you can't tell a barber like, man, if you making me look better than anybody else, how can I tell you what your time is worth? Right?
Exactly.
My old lady, she works at a barbershop in Annapolis, and I think their haircut started like $55.
Right.
But I can't tell this man what his time is worth. If I spin around in the chair and I'm like, man, ain't nobody ever cut me like this. Man,
exactly, right.
Here's your $55.
Like, you want to see what a $55 haircut look like?
Yeah.
Here you go. Like, oh, I done had this face my whole life. My
Never
whole life.
like
Had this hair my whole life. Ain't never not look like this.
And he's busier than a lot of the barbers I know. So you can't, I guess it's got a little bit to do with his demographic, but at the end of the day, he knows what his time is worth.
Right.
And he cut Obama's hair. He cut big celebrity clientele. So he put it, basically, when people see that you know what you're worth, some people have an appreciation for it.
Exactly.
And some people don't. They want you to charge what everybody else charge. But if you want what everybody else has, go get it. But if you want something different, you want just a cut above, some top-notch stuff, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I feel like that's almost anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah, success ain't cheap, man.
Not at all.
It's not.
Not at
all. Your
all.
dreams are not cheap.
Success, but what people don't understand is success don't have to cost you your life.
At all.
People will work their whole life away to plan to be successful, but I used to go to work and tell people, man, this is my job. The money I make here is going to start a business for me to where I don't have to come to this job at 4 a.m. anymore.
Right.
And a lot of people was like, man, I've been doing this for 20 years. Man, that's great for you, but that's not my path. That's just not for me. Your success will ultimately kill you. I don't want to have to stress about going to work. I want to create wealth for me and my family to where I can go on vacation and my business is doing fine. And we can live a little less stress-free. I mean, stress is everywhere. You're going to stress about something. But, man, if you think about the financial stresses, like what bills we got to pay and so on and so forth. So if I'm able to free up any type of stress about something else.
Right.
Let's fight about where we about to eat.
Right. Exactly, right? We just like, I want Italian.
Yeah.
I want some of this Peruvian joint. Like, I want to get some
Let's
Lebanese.
get both.
Let's get both. We can go to both spots.
That's what, you know what I mean? When you can have arguments about that or something and not be like, man, I want to go get my whatever, but we got to pay this, and this. I ain't going to live like that.
Yeah.
My family not going to live like that. But I'm not going to kill myself to make it happen. And that's why I put a price on me.
Yeah.
I put a price on my work. I put a price on my time. Because somebody else dictating what I'm worth, I'm gonna kill myself trying to make it.
Yeah.
That's not a life.
Yeah.
That's not a life. We living to die, man.
Yeah.
Every day we wake up, we one step closer. So it's like, man, if I die tomorrow, somebody in my family can take this business and run with it.
Exactly. You know, and that was something that this conversation, I didn't intend for it to go this way, but this is where it went, and I appreciate it because it's beautiful. You know, we both own our own companies, and all the energy speaking, like it just reminds me of, you seen Dame Dash when he did that. I think he did like a Breakfast Club interview.
He grinding for his last name.
Yeah, grinding for his last name, and he was just sitting there talking about, he's like, you know, if you die tomorrow, it's like your company is not going. The company you work for, the only thing they're gonna leave is now hiring sign outside the window. Like if you leave this company, like, you know, you can't give this radio station. He's like, yeah, if you can't give this radio station to your son, can you?
Right.
It's like, you can't give, like, this is a job.
Because you work for somebody.
And I appreciated that, and that kind of pushed me a little harder, because I mean, the podcast is the one thing I want to do, but I want to keep building. I got other little stuff that I'm trying to like get up off the ground. I'm trying to write a book, and I started like, I'm probably like 25 pages into that, and I'm trying to make a real short novel. And I know like the lawn business for you is a good solid step, but I know there's other things you're gonna do. And you know, we always, you know, grew up tinkering around with cars and stuff, and obviously, you know, you and Jason are taking it to the next level. But people need to really start investing in themselves and not letting somebody limit their lives to the point where they are just existing to pay bills. They need to start actually living.
I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, I try. It's scary. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it's scary as hell.
And I mean, I try to preach to as many of the younger folks that I can, because it's less scarier than before you have all these responsibilities. Like, you know, I got a girl, I got kids now, so that means I got people that depend on me.
Right.
So for me to step back from my guaranteed paycheck and be like, I have to create this for myself now, it's definitely scary, and it takes, I mean, a pretty big step and a lot of faith, and that's something that a lot of people don't have. But the fear is what drives you. Your ability to be scared to fail will push you so hard and push you to places where you never even thought you could make it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I never thought that I would be first year in business, you know, half as successful as I've been. Never did I think I would have two people that worked for me and I was able to help them provide for their families. Yeah. But it took me making that first step to be able to get to that point. Right. And now I'm like, man, I can't wait to see where I go next year. I can't wait to see what this is going to be like. Right. And then, you know, now my daughter, she see lawnmower. She's like, oh, I want to cut the grass. I'm like, you know, bam, let's go. Let's go cut the grass. Right. Because ultimately, I'm going to train you up right. Right. Not so to speak, to cut grass, but to understand that you don't have to work for anybody else, that you can be just like daddy. Yeah. If whatever it is that you want to do in life, if you take it and you run with it, you can do it. So it's cutting grass for me, but that may not be what it is for her, but she'll be able to be like, my dad started his own company, and I remember, you know, when I was X amount of years old, that we got to go on vacation and because, and then it all clicked, like, all because my dad started this company. Exactly. And I mean,
like, you got up off your ass and just was like, you know what, this paycheck is nice, all this stuff is nice, you know, this healthcare benefit is nice, but it's not me. It's like, I'm not being truthful to myself.
Not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, if I call out of work because I'm sick, they don't want to hear that. Man. They're like, man, we losing money. I get it, but so you don't care about my health. Yeah. You care about your dollar.
All right. You go into work and you collapse on the job, then it's like, oh, well, why didn't you stay home? You knew you were sick?
Man, if you collapse on the job, you fired before you hit the floor. That's how they treat that out there, you know what I mean? They don't, it's about having bodies out there. It's about getting the check. And I mean, I understand it, but we can't lose our compassion for people. There's no amount of money that should make you be less compassionate towards your fellow man.
Yeah.
Like, it's heck no. You know, so if my guys call out, it might inconvenience me.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go out there and do it myself.
Right.
I'm not about to make you feel bad about it. I'm not about to be like, oh man, you should have been here. It is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to hear no excuses. If you sick, you sick. If you're not sick and you calling out, man, then that is what it is at the end.
Yeah. But then they taking money out their own mouth,
and that's
their own pocket. So
why should I be mad?
Yeah.
That means if I go out here, that's less money I got to pay somebody else.
Yeah.
But not corporate America. Don't see it like that. I don't know. I guess a lot of small businesses will probably see it like that, because if you started by yourself, you know, then ultimately you know, like, hey, I built this.
Yeah.
So I got to be able to go out here and do it, because without me, this would have never been anything. Right. So ultimately, I think everybody should figure out what it is they're good at. And I mean, I worked alongside of some great electricians that should have started their own companies. Yeah. But they're so scared to leave and fail that they stay union. Yeah. And not to say that it's bad, but
yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, to have that structure. I mean, if anything, it's just like train yourself up, get trained up, get other certifications, understand the job, figure out how to run a business, and then go out and try to do it yourself. And the day it don't work, 9-to-5s are still there.
And you can still go back to the union.
Yeah.
You can still go back to the union. So it's about the fear. And I mean, like I say, I'm scared to fail. So I know I'm going to wake up and I'm going to find some type of way to make some money, whether it's cutting grass, trimming bushes, or anything along those lines. I'm going to make it happen, and I'm upselling. I'm a salesman. I mean, you got to, whatever it is in your craft, you take it. You be the best at it. And every day you got to try to be better than you were the day before. Yeah. And you'll be all right, man. I mean, it don't matter what the trade is, the craft is, or anything like that. Whatever it is, if you take it, you push and you try as hard as you can, and don't leave nothing on the table, you don't have no choice but to prosper. That's right. Life.
Yeah. I mean, if you will it into existence, if you don't stop, you know what I mean? The only time when you fail is when you quit.
That's it. And
that's it. I mean, you know, there's so many people who don't understand how they really just need to learn how to, even if it's like getting over, like for me, like just on another topic, in order for me to get over my depression, I had to realize that I was destroying too much shit. Like I was doing a job, or I was in a situation at a job where it was literally killing me. Like I just felt like I was just like, every day I was going in and it was just like, ugh. Like, here we go. It's going to be some bullshit. Like, what's the new...
Right. What I'm going to deal with today?
What am I going to deal with today? And part of it was just, like, me starting my day off like that. I was bringing that energy to me.
Full circle. Right. Bringing it right back.
Right? So, just like, well, this is what you're putting out in the universe, bro. Like, this is what you're getting back. So, it took, like, a real major, like, shift. To take a real major, like, you know, jarring. I had to put myself in a real dark place to, like, really figure out, like, how to find the light. And then it was just, like... You need to correct yourself. It's like you got two choices in life. You either create or destroy, and you're not creating nothing. You better create something. Otherwise, you're gonna end up dead before 30. And I'm like, all right.
Man, that depression shit is real, man. Yeah. Depression shit is real. And it's like, what a lot of people don't understand is depression comes from shame. Shame comes from the feeling of letting either somebody else down or letting yourself down. Doing something that you knew that you're better than that.
All right.
And once you like, man, I'm better than that, but you don't find a way to deal with it, you still feel shameful. So whatever it is that you did, you don't deal with it. You harbor it. shame will reside within inside of you. So anytime you get in a situation where you feel as if you need to move past it or you become shameful, you go back to doing the same things because it's almost like a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
Shame is very that is the root of depression. That shame is the root of a lot of problems because we don't deal with it. We suppress a lot because we like, man, I can't open up to nobody about this. Like, how do I talk to somebody about this?
Right.
So we just keep burying it. The quicker we learn to feel less shameful and understand that a lot of people are going through the same things that we go through, or somebody has, done the same thing that I did, or whatever the situation may be, that somebody's gone through it, and we begin to talk about it, we feel less shameful. Because if we don't deal with the shame, then we just keep throwing dirt on top of it, throwing dirt on top of it, throwing dirt on top of it, and it becomes so dark. A seed can't grow in the dark. It need light.
Yeah.
So then we become depressed. We stuck in this darkness because we've been dealing with this shameful whatever it is
Right.
for this whole time with no type of way to release it.
Right.
But the best way to do it is to just talk about it, man. We all go through so much stuff, and I guess that's like the biggest misconception in life, is that nobody knows what I'm dealing with. But somebody out there has been through it.
Right.
Maybe not somebody that you talk to on a regular basis, but somebody has been
Oh,
through
yeah.
it. So if we learn to kind of deal with our shame and put our shame out in front of people and not be so fearful, like, I don't want people to judge me, but that fear is what creates the shame.
Yeah.
So the quicker we can learn to deal with the shame, the quicker we can become happier people. I know, for me, it was a few things I was shameful about that I didn't even realize were causing so much turmoil down the road for me. And it took me taking a step back and being like, man, like, why am I the way I am? Like, what is the problem? Like, you know what you're doing, but you choose not to change. And it was because I never dealt with it the first time.
Right.
I had to go all the way back in my mind to the very first time and be like, why didn't I deal with it then?
Right.
Because I was ashamed. So let me just cover it up and lie about it or what have you, because I'm shameful, because I'm tucking my tail, because I feel bad about it now, but I didn't feel bad about it then. So now I'm shameful. And then if you lie about it, cover it up, then that becomes, if you didn't
That's
deal
another
with it.
point. Yeah, it's another point of shame as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that becomes habit.
Okay.
Your shame, you that's how you learn to deal with your shame, is by lying about whatever it is to cover it up. But that keeps you in your cycle.
There's this concept called hypnotic rhythm, and it talks about how you start doing an activity, whether it was positive, negative. Say like you're like, every day I'm gonna try and wake up and drink, a gallon of water.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pour an 8-ounce glass. I'm gonna drink it, and every 30 minutes I'm gonna knock it down until it's gone, until that whole gallon is gone. You get so used to doing that, into that rhythm, that it just becomes second nature.
Right.
So it's like you don't even have to remind yourself anymore. It's just your body starts to become acclimated. Your brain learns that this is what you need to do. It's been 30 minutes. You need a drink. It's like a same technique that there was a psychologist, and he trained a dog to come to him by blowing a whistle. And he knew that if he blew the whistle, it was time to eat. So the dog would hear the whistle. The guy would pour the food in the bowl. The dog would eat. And he knew, regardless, wherever he was, if the dog could hear the whistle, or if he heard a whistle, the dog would come. To the point where he stopped blowing the whistle. Eventually, he stopped giving the dog food. And the whole technique was just to get the dog to come to him. So that's what the desired effect was. But we do that to ourselves every day. We have those hypnotic rhythmic things that we see every day. You go to a green light, go to a traffic light, red, yellow, green. You know what you're supposed to do. Everybody understands the rules, and we're all in this rhythm, and it makes this whole society work. But like you said, man, like it can do the same thing for shame. Like you can say if you drink too much, which is a common problem that, you know, especially like jokers in the military that we go through. Like too many jokers out here using alcohol as a coping mechanism. And, you know, jokers booze up. It's Thursday night, it's Friday night, it's Saturday night. Oh, football on Sunday, Monday. Right. Like we just, and like people do it all the time, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, we did a good job at work, let's go out and drink.
Make an excuse.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we had a bad job at work, let's
I'm
go
only
to the bar.
drinking because we won the game. I'm only drinking because we hit. Now you finding excuses, whether good or bad.
Exactly.
To cope with. And that's the problem is we can't even enjoy a celebration.
Yeah.
And that's deep rooted.
Yeah.
Because even during the highs, we're still trying to numb the lows.
Yeah.
And if we deal with it sooner rather than later, you can enjoy it regardless. Not to say that you can't have a drink and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we need to first, before we ever drink to cope or drink to heal, we need to heal.
Yeah.
We need to cope. We not with something, but just in general.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man. I'm 28 years old, and I'm just now learning this.
Yeah.
Like, this late in life, I'm just now being like, man, like I've been harboring a lot.
Yeah.
I have been suppressing so much stuff, and I'm shameful of so much stuff, and now I finally realize why I've been the way I am. And
yeah.
It's crazy that it you know, it's taken me so long to do it, but I'm thankful for it at the same time because some people would never get it.
Yeah.
So
that makes me sad. Like, and you see it in a bunch of old heads. You see it in just people who even raised us, and you see like they did not deal with their trauma, and they've always been coping. And they don't make any. They've done it so much. They've practiced this hypnotic rhythm so much. It's become their habit as a person. That is their personality,
and it's become who they are.
Yeah,
and it consumes you that bad, and you know that's what people don't even understand. Is like, man, we lose track of ourselves because this shame just takes control and creates a whole different person.
Yeah,
and that's why people be like, "Oh, you changed," and you're like, "Man, I didn't change." But the more shameful we become, we slowly start to become somebody that we don't even know.
Exactly.
And it's, man.
And these years go by quick. Like, you know.
lost yourself and don't even know it.
Yeah, you're going to blink and you're going to be 40 and you're going to be on the same thing. It's like, damn, man, you still out here hollering at these little 20-year-old joints?
Can't do it,
40,
man.
40-something years old, bro.
You can't do it. And I told my little homie the other day, you know, I told him, I said, man, I know it's hard, but you got to stay out the streets, man. These women out here, they don't want nothing for you. They don't want nothing for you. You got one at home, you got to stay at home.
Yeah.
Because sooner or later, you're going to be 30 years old, and you're going to be still trying to chase something out in the streets when you could be at home enjoying and building on what you've already done had.
Bro.
You could be, you know, instead of a Thursday night, you like, man, it's ladies' night, I'm about to go out here. Man, you could be sitting on the couch.
For what? You better sit your ass on the couch.
Man.
Or go out into one of them wine and paint joints. You better.
What? Stop tripping. Talk about bingo.
It's like, man, we had a good night. We had a good night last night, man. We went out to the wine and paint joint.
Bruh.
That shit was dope, man. We had some had some gnocchi. What you call it?
Yeah, man. People.
Gnocchi.
You just gotta break a lot of the rhythmic things that we do just out of whether I don't know. I don't really know how to say it.
It's almost like a curse. Like you trying to break a curse. Like you.
Yeah.
It's so you created this. Like your ego's attached to this thing. Because then it's weird too. Like even with the drinking, or if you out in these streets running around like chasing tail, there are like social points for that. I drank the most shots last night.
Yeah.
I got the most numbers last night.
And
I got all this last night. And that
and
plays on like our male competitiveness or human competitiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like be top dog.
And
you know,
man, if women only knew.
Yeah, but it's so embedded in us. Like all all the movies we watch, the movies that told you that, you should be a Disney princess and you got to wear the tight shorts and all this other stuff, are the same movies that told us that we need to have the girls who are princesses wear the tight shorts. And we need all of them, as many as we can. And we need to look good, smell good, and just be the biggest, not caring about, not emotionally blocked people. Like, that's what they've taught us. And people are like, oh, well, you just, maybe you should, they want to blame the parents. But it's like, they've been socialized the same way. This is America.
Right.
Like, this is learned behavior. Like, we're surrounded by it. To not fall into that trap, it takes a lot of self-awareness and being like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here? You want me to do what? Oh, hell no.
I mean, and for me, like, my father chased tail his whole life, for real. So,
yeah,
without knowing it, and without really even knowing my father for the longest time, that's all I heard about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So, without knowing it, I was, I guess, trying to be something like that without even really trying. But it was like, man, that's all I heard about my father. That's all I heard about my father. Oh man, you just like your father, just like your father. And that, I heard that shit for so long, and then finally I was just like, man, my father was between this house or that house, trying to find something, but he had to got to heal himself. Slim, like, you out here trying to find a woman that's gonna tolerate what you have to offer, but that's not, you can't find a good woman and stay the same. You got to find a good woman to become better. So, after however long, I'm just like, man, I look at my dad and I'm like, man, Slim, can't.
Yeah, because eventually you get to an age and you start just realizing that your parents are just people.
Exactly.
And then it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You make mistakes too. I'm not supposed to follow the things you do. You make mistakes also. I'm supposed to watch and differentiate between what's good and what's bad, what's right and what's wrong. And like I say, I never wanted to be nothing like my father. I see my dad in the streets, I dap him up. We can go have a beer, whatever. But as a man, I never wanted to be nothing like him.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he knows that as well. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm his gut. So ultimately, it's something that I had to fight. And you got to learn to, first you got to come to terms with it.
Right.
And then you got to learn to be better than what it is you're trying to control.
Yeah. So
the quicker you can take them first two steps, the quicker that the third will happen, which is ultimately being able to be better. And I guess, like, whatever it is that inside of you is trying to have you do these things with me, it was just chasing these women.
Yeah. But it's strange though, man. Like, cause I get that full sentiment. Like, you want to feel like any child would want to feel the love from their parent, especially like as a young man, wanting your dad's acceptance, wanting your dad's blessing, and to feel the pride and from that person. But then at the same time, knowing that a lot of the stuff that they are probably out here doing is toxic.
Right. See, the problem was, man, to be honest, like, I didn't really start to develop a relationship with my dad till I was like 14.
I remember.
So then that's when I start to learn about who he is and the lifestyle he lives. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, at 14, that's a horrible age to start learning about how you roll.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, shoo.
Because you're looking at it and it's just
a couple of them.
Right.
Like, I'm 14. That sounds cool and I don't know what.
Exactly.
Like, how you... I want me a couple of them. Wrong mentality.
Right.
But at 14, your father telling you this, that, and the third, you like, oh, snap. And then not so much what he's telling you, but what he's showing you.
Exactly.
I go ride with him, and next thing you know what I mean, we pulling up here, and here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
You thinking like, oh, that's just the way.
Yeah, he ain't hurt nobody. Everybody seem happy. But that's not the way. And it wasn't that that's what I was taught, but it was just like at that time that I was influenced. I wanted to be, you know what I mean? My father was in my life. I'm 14 years old. And I'm like, man, got my pops. Bet. Be like my dad.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong. It's be yourself.
Right.
View scenarios, view situations, and decipher between good and bad, and then make your own decision. And I mean that no excuse. You know what I mean? I'm my own person, so I don't make no excuses. But I think Meek Mill said what he said on it. If that's the only thing we ever saw, we repeat that.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? He was talking more so about coming out the trenches and selling crack and so on and so forth. But that's it resonates to regardless of whatever it is.
Right. I mean, even in psychology, you can't become something you've never you haven't seen. You know, people talk about, oh, you know, these kids need to go to college and the other. Like, no one has shown them how to do this.
Exactly.
Like, oh, they just need to fill out these forms. They don't even know these forms exist. Like, oh, but it doesn't matter where it is. It could be in West Baltimore. It could be in West Virginia, in Boone County. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have somebody, especially as a child, if you never have somebody that ever tries to, like, direct you in the right path, you're not all of a sudden, I mean, you just got to be a very special individual to be in such a shit situation, to rise of it just off the strength.
Right.
And just be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to change this situation. I'm going to figure out how to do this by myself because nobody else is going to show me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really how those people are the rare people in society. They are the Usain Bolts of humanity. You know what I'm saying? They are the Rosa Parks and the Dr. Kings and, you know, the Jack Johnny Hershey's and all these other people. They are an exception. Right. They are the LeBron James. They are the 6'8" with a 32-inch waist. You know what I'm saying? It's 28-inch waist going out there just dunking on people. Like, you can't hold everybody to those same standards. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and it's especially as a young kid. And I mean, I feel that because I mean our stories are very similar, so I totally get that. Like having your dad come really back in your life as a teenager and just being like, all right, man, like I could have used you a while ago,
right?
But since you here,
what you got for me?
You know what I'm saying? What's up? What you got? What's up? Like, show me the ropes. Show me what you've been up to. Show me the fruits of your labor.
Right.
And it looked good. It looked real good.
Looks can be deceiving.
But looks can be deceiving, especially when you start getting older and you understand that, oh, ain't nobody getting hurt. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, they are. And that's, man, I guess that's selfishness. More so than anything, is not even, you know what I mean? And I mean, like I said, I'm my own man, so I can't blame nobody, but it's selfishness. I'm not thinking about nobody else. I watched him not think about nobody else, and instead of breaking it, I repeated it.
Yeah.
So now it's to the point where you gotta flip it.
Right.
You can talk about it. You can speak on where you went wrong.
Right.
So now you done that. You gotta take it and you gotta flip it. You walk too far the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's time to turn around and start running back to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, man. You gotta do. You can't always go right, because if you always go right, how do you learn?
Yeah. I mean, we all gotta fall at some point. It's just, you know, it's the comeback. It's the comeback. That's all that matters. You know, people would be like, oh yeah, I know he was woo woo back in the day, and then now it's like, well, now dude owns his own company, trying to, you know, he not that person anymore.
Exactly.
Like, you know, you can't keep them in this little capsule of,
and they want you to be that person.
Of course,
so bad.
because they pretty much usually those people are the same people.
Exactly.
When you were out there, you know, in a bad situation.
Yeah, they want it. They want. I mean, you see any type of success. Anytime somebody sees success in somebody that they don't want to see it in, they want to bring up who you were.
Exactly.
Because they don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah, at all. But and there's some shame for them on that, because It's just like, dang, I could have got in on this project with him back in the day. Yeah. Or, man, I could have followed my dreams and followed my heart, but I was too afraid to.
And a lot of people, man, will, anytime you doing something that they doing and you doing it any type of way better than them, they got hate on it. Because it's well, how can you do it and how can you do it better than me? What makes what you doing any better? I mean, I got people that call me on a regular basis asking questions about how do I do this, or how do I do that to the yard, or how do I this, that, and whatever. And it's like, Slim, if I tell you everything that I do, which I will help you.
Yeah.
But if I tell you everything that I do, you can only be as good as me. The goal is not to be as good as me. Mm-hmm. The goal is to be better than me.
Right, because you're not trying to be who you are now in a year.
Heck no. I'm trying to be 10 times better than what I am right now. But me giving you the pieces to my puzzle is not going to help you. They don't fit your puzzle.
Yeah.
That it just don't work. You got to want to be better than me. If you look at your idol and you want to be your idol, you got the wrong idol. You got to look at your idol and be like, I want to be that times 10.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't want to be just as good as anybody else, because you can't have two number ones. I want to be as good as LeBron, or I want to be better than LeBron. Mm-hmm. You know, you think LeBron was like, man, I want to be as good as Michael Jordan. Or you think he was like, I want to be better than Michael Jordan.
Exactly. You got to come with that heat and that hunger.
So, that you can take that and you can put that in anything in life.
Yeah.
And it's you gotta want to be better, and it's really that simple. Outside of waking up every day, the only thing you gotta do is be better than you was yesterday.
Yeah, and it's a choice. And then for a lot of folks, you gotta realize you have to keep choosing yourself, your dream, your mission, whatever it is. Man. Especially once you figure it out. There's a lot of accountability to it, and it's very hard. You ain't lying. It is very hard. You're going to lose sleep. Man. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose a lot of quotation fingers, fun nights out. But, I mean, you want to have just another weekend with your friends who nobody's, like, who's nobody's really following their dreams, or do you want to sacrifice some time with them and maybe in some sense, and if they really down, they might be like, man, how did you do this? Like, I had an idea to do some stuff. Like, maybe you can help me out, and then y'all can keep networking, keep growing and building. Because that's what overall, that's what you want to do. Like, you want to see your friends eat. You don't want to see your friends keep grinding for somebody else, making them rich.
All. And if we can all make it, man, then we can all just prosper together. We can live good. Be like, hey, man, so in like 2 weeks, I'm going to fly down to so-and-so for you want to go? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, no question. Not, let me see if I can take off, or let me put in some for vacation time.
Exactly. It's like, I don't have no PTO for the rest of the year.
Man, let's go.
I'm like, you ain't no PTO for the rest of the year. Like, what do you mean? Like, you can't get, like, they only get, like, there's only a couple of days a year. Like, how many days? Like, oh, we got 15 days. Usually, you can only take 2 weekends in a day. 2 weeks in a day. Off in 365, 52 weeks. You can take half.
Nah.
You can take 2 of those weeks off.
And my time is worth more than that. I mean, you
gotta grind. Yeah, exactly. And man, people are dictating your energy. They're sitting here telling you that you're gonna come in, you're gonna do this work.
Yeah.
And if I don't find your work stimulating enough or enough quality, you can go ahead and go. And I get it, because, you know, they're providing a job.
Of course.
And I get that. But, I mean, you could be that boss that provides the job and give your people some real time off. I mean, they're looking at Spain right now. They out there giving people I think they just switched up their work day now is 4 days a week.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, they have zero.
I just saw that.
They have zero productivity loss.
And they giving fathers like 2 weeks maternity leave. Like, what?
That's crazy.
2 weeks.
That's
it.
Okay. 2 weeks. That's it.
Man, I remember taking like 3 days off, and they was ready to fire me. Nah, man. They was like, come on, man. You didn't have the baby. She had the baby.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, excuse me?
What?
Like, okay, so then she home by herself with our child.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. That's corporate America, man. They worried about the dollar.
They got, and there's some countries where they give the mother, 3 to 6 months off.
Yeah, I seen that.
And then the father gets about a month off. And I'm like, it's not as long, but I get it. Like, but that's quality
That's dope,
right there.
man.
Like, you get to spend the first month of your child's life just being there.
Man, that's the craziest.
That's a job
thing.
that I would want to actually go to. You know what I'm saying? That's people would be like, what's your benefits?
Y'all.
Like, oh, y'all really want me to make sure that my house is
straight?
straight?
Y'all
like,
appreciate me.
We good.
That's all, man. When you can come to work, and that's like you can come to work and you can feel like, man, they not taking advantage of me. They really appreciate the work that I do. You gonna enjoy coming to work.
Yeah, you probably hang out with your people that you work with after work. Y'all probably, your families hang out with each other. Y'all probably go on vacations together.
I was with one of my guys the other day, and where did we go? I think it was like 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
And we went inside. I think I got a coffee, and he bought my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm the boss. I should have bought you some coffee.
Right.
But to me, I was like, man, you don't think that working for me is that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you to want to buy me a coffee.
Yeah. And it's a small gesture, but I mean, how many companies are really kind of like that, where it's just like, I'm gonna go ahead and buy my boss a coffee, and it's not on something like, oh, I'm gonna
kiss
suck
his
up.
ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna kiss his ass. It's like, oh,
he's like, no, I got it.
You good people.
Like, oh, right.
My boss is good people.
Yeah,
like,
you know
I
what
like
I mean?
this guy.
So I was like, man, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Because I don't think I've had a handful of maybe foremans that I've ever hung out with outside of work or something like that. So I was like, oh, all right, I'm creating a halfway decent environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. But I mean, I kind of wish that more jobs were like that. I mean, man, we get to the point where too much money ain't enough money anymore, and it's like, why? For
right.
what? Why are we living so above our means, and for why? To impress who?
Exactly. But I think that speaks to another point of like how unhappy people kind of are with just this whole situation.
Yeah. And money don't fix it. You know what I mean? It's a Band-Aid, but it don't fix it.
No. You
got problems, you need to deal with them, and that's just what it come down to. The money only gonna Band-Aid it, but for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, the problem is people think that the money makes them better, but anybody can get money.
Yeah.
It's all about just wanting to get it bad enough.
Yeah.
Anybody can get money. So in a country where we literally create our own money, anybody can get that. That's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got people that's on Wall Street making $1 million. You got people that's on a street corner making $1 million. Yeah. So literally anybody can get money.
Anybody can get this money.
The wealth is nothing. Who are you if I take the wealth away?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't think about. Like, if I take every dollar you got from you, what would people say about you? Not, oh, man, he bought me this, he bought me that. But, man, when I needed somebody to help me move, he came and he moved some boxes.
Yeah.
Or, I needed somebody to watch my dog, or I was in the hospital and I needed somebody to pick my kid up. Or who are you without the money? Because anybody can get it. What are you doing for people that money can't buy? And that's what we need to focus. I feel like a corporate America would be completely different if that's how we kind of viewed it. Not like how can we got to make this amount of money by the end of business today. Man, why? Everybody doing all right?
Right.
If we're not, it's because we're living above our means.
Right.
So instead of that, how can we make these people's day a little bit better? How can we think outside of the box and stop worrying about so much about the money and worry about the people who help us make the money? The quicker we can get to that, I think we'll be all right, man.
Yeah. The quality of life extends past just cash. It's, the relationships we have with ourselves, relationships we have with our families. And if we spending too much money at home, at work, and away from our families, it's just like, who are we doing this for?
It hit home with me because I never really come from a lot. So as the man of the family, I assume that if I take care of the bills and you don't want for nothing, and I'm coming home with, you know, this for you and that for you, and you know, your oil's changed in your car, your brakes is done. I had your car detailed once every 2 weeks. That it's room for error on my side. It's wrong.
Yeah.
So it was like I not so much used it as like an excuse, but I caught myself slipping like, oh man, she got it so good, or so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, like if I take my money away, then what do I have? And I had to check myself, like that money, bro. Your money that you getting, it's just money.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's she can go get her own money if that's what she wants. Exactly. You know what I mean? Anybody can get money. So what are you doing? What are you bringing to the table outside of $1?
Right. And for like a lot of women, it's financial security is something that's taught to us that's what we're supposed to do, take care of, and which we are. We're supposed to be taking care of our family, but it's hard to, like we said before. You know what I'm saying? If you've never seen before, how you gonna become it? Like how you gonna be this emotionally available, very thought-provoking, very like thoughtful person if like you haven't seen how to be that person. And it's crazy that, you know, you're saying at 28, because I remember at 28 that's what I was thinking. I was just like, I have to like really change who I am. Like I have to completely change these things about myself. I have to eliminate these things about myself in order for me to be the person that I want to be at 30. Well, I want to be at 35. Like if I want to be the dad I want to be eventually one day, like I have to change these things about myself so that I can be that person. And there's a lot of things that was like, you know, if you are taking care of X, Y, and Z, they call it moral licensing, where like you do all these good deeds, so that means you can go mess around, whatever it might be. Like I'm a go, I don't know, do a bunch of coke with my boys or something. Like, oh, I took care of my kids and I did all this stuff, so I'm gonna go
now I can go.
I'm going to Miami at the food. You know what I'm saying? You know. And it's like, how dare she? after I did X, Y, and Z, I can't let off some steam, whatever. But then you got to realize it's like, you got to be on point all the time. And it's not stressful once you realize exactly who you want to be. And you just like, all right, I'm trying. I'm going to try, and I'm going to make this happen. And I really have to choose every day. I got to be clear-headed, and I got to be very definite about my
single day,
my things, what I want to do.
Yep. And the crazy thing about it is, we forget that niggas can do the same shit that we doing.
Yeah.
Like, dummy, you better straighten up and fly right, because next thing you know...
Oh, some Trey Songz, sexy, flexy ass, you know what I'm saying, vegan, you know what I'm saying, he out here taking...
Gonna fly right
in.
And be like, hey, bro, I pay her bills too. But I keep my ass in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
That could, you know what I mean? That's where now your money don't mean nothing when he the one making sure she don't have to wonder where he at.
And it's not even, and to that point, like, I don't feel like if you were a good woman, she will never cheat on you. But you can create space for another person to come into her life. Absolutely. Or who have been in her life, and they become the person that they go to for emotional support.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't answering your phone.
Of course.
Like, when she had a bad day, you out in these streets doing X, Y, and Z, so she can't vent to you about the shit.
And that same thing goes with when we said that you can't overwork, you can't work too much, because that, whether it's you out here in the streets chasing tail, you out here working too much.
Yeah.
The same thing can happen.
Yeah.
You know, so, and the same token, like, everything that you doing wrong, that one person that she can confide in, he got the answers to the test.
All right.
He got the answers to the test. He know everything he not supposed to do now.
Right.
If he ever get a chance to slide in there and take your woman from you if you not acting right.
Because you giving her up at that point.
Basically.
Because you created space for this man. So it's just like, you can't be mad. Like, you know, you can be mad at, you know, military used to call him Jody. You can be mad at Jody all you want. But if you weren't listening to her, if you weren't giving her what she needed to feel like she was in a relationship with somebody. Like, I'm just living in this house.
And it's your fault.
That, I guess we living together, and he just goes out and does what he wants, and I'm just supposed to be here and be this faithful, perfect.
Don't work like
woman.
that.
Like, it does not work like that.
And it might for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
But
she gonna get tired eventually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That shit don't last but for so long. And then shit gonna hit the fan. And it just ain't no way around it. So the quickest way, the quicker you can come to terms with it, like, it's more to life than, and it's messed up because that's just what we taught. Take care of your woman.
Yeah.
But they never explained that it's outside of financial.
Yeah.
Because that's what we get so wrapped up on is we got to take care of home. And when we think take care of home is paying the bills and putting food in the freezer and the refrigerator and making sure that the kids got clothes and stuff like that. But taking care of home is taking care of everybody in it. And it's hard, man, because we're gonna be. It'll never be a time in life, and if it is, I won't be allowed to see it. That they don't put the pressure of the dollar on the man of the family. Mm-hmm. So, if there ever is a time, I pray I'm allowed to see it. 'Cause that would be awesome. But it's hard to be like, oh man, I gotta take care of you, because naturally we automatically gonna think financial.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say these women want to be with a broke man, but they'll struggle with you.
Yeah. They'll struggle with you if a man is treating a woman like she's rich. Like she feels emotionally rich.
Right.
She feels spiritually rich.
Hey,
she feels,
fill her up.
And you gassing her up every day. She like, oh, I look so ugly today. And you like, let me tell you something, woman. You're the most beautiful thing I've seen in my life. I want to hear you talk bad about yourself. You get that going, and you helping her build up her self-esteem and like really get that positive talk going. Like, why would she leave?
She ain't going nowhere.
She ain't gonna leave.
And then the beauty of it is,
y'all could be sleeping in a 1-bedroom trailer in the middle of whatever, and like she could feel like this house is a mansion because we in it,
because of what we put in it.
Exactly.
And the beauty of it is, once you become this man that you're supposed to be for your family, everything else is still start to fall into place.
Yeah.
So if you're having financial problems, as long as you being the man that you're supposed to be, then everything else, your financial problems is gonna cease. They don't have no choice but to.
Yeah.
Because you're living in obedience.
Yeah.
You don't have no choice. Yeah. Once you slowly start putting the pieces together to become a better person, man or woman, you'll notice the change in your life. Stuff will just start falling into place. You be like, man, I don't even know how that happened. This don't even make sense. Like, I didn't even ask for this, and here it is. Bam. Whatever problems we got, it just work itself out. I believe, a firm believer in karma, that everything happened for a reason. And I don't know. When I started changing within myself, realizing that I had to change, then I realized that my karma started to change. Like, and I guess the way I viewed it too, to be honest, like if something that typically happened to me that was like, oh, I'm sitting in traffic, this is what I get for speeding or what have you. Mm-hmm. I view it as positive, like, oh, I'm being saved from this. Or it could have been a car accident up here.
Exactly.
It could have been me. So then when you start to change, then your whole thought process started to change. How you view stuff started to change. And, man, your life just genuinely becomes better. I don't really know. It sounds cliche, but it's real. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's real.
Yeah. And
it's no other way to experience it but just to kind of check yourself.
Yeah.
Am I living the life that I really want to live? Am I truly happy? Is there some stuff that I've been kind of just putting off and being shameful of that I have never really spoke about? And It's some stuff that I did that I keep doing, and I don't know how to stop doing it. The quicker that you just come to terms with it, speak on it, and you can change it.
Yeah.
You can do that 180 that you need to do and start heading back the opposite direction and heading to better times, because if not, you're going to continue to be depressed.
Right.
You're going to continue to just sulk and wake up and low-key look for the bad in the day.
Yeah.
Like when you depressed and you're not dealing with your shame, you wake up and you're like, what's going to go wrong today?
Exactly.
And then you just like, man, where is it at? Where is it at? You're looking for something wrong.
Right.
Oh, I knew something was going to happen. I forgot my wallet. And then the smallest thing automatically just sets you off.
And that's your whole day ruined.
All the way.
Over one wallet that you had to go get that's still there with all the credit cards and your ID and all that stuff in it.
Yeah.
Now your day is ruined because of that one thing.
Yeah. And it's sad, but it's the quicker that we can kind of just grab a hold of whatever it is and deal with the shame. And like my old lady kept telling me, you got to figure out what it is. And I'm like, Slim, you tripping. I don't know. It ain't nothing.
Right.
Like, I just got to change. It ain't nothing. And then I started reading a couple books, and I'm like, man, they asking some questions, and I start asking myself these questions. And I'm like, man, I got some shame. Like,
Yeah.
I've been sweeping a lot of stuff under the rug, and kind of like thought back to the first time I got myself in a situation where I lied to get myself out of it, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, the fact that my lie worked allowed me to keep being shameful, because now I'm like, I can keep lying to get myself out of situations. Furthermore, embedding the shame.
Right.
Not dealing with the situation that I got caught up in. I'm just continue to be shameful about it and know that when the next time it comes, my shame got me out of it last time. I can lie and get myself out of it, and so on and so forth. But now it's like, man, deal with it. I don't want to feel no more shame, because once you deal with it, you realize how bad that shame really does affect you. So you like, man, it ain't even it's not worth the consequences, but it's not worth the shame. Yeah. It's not worth going back to the place that I just came from, because it's way too dark back there.
Yeah, and being in that dark place ain't fun.
Nah.
Ain't fun at
not
all.
at all. Not at all. Because like I say, I mean, the smallest of things, man, you get to work and you not working with the people that you thought you was working with. Now all of a sudden you can't even have a good day to save your life.
Yeah.
But when you in the right mindset and you kind of step back away from that thought process, life just is you wake up, you in a better mood, you get there and you don't even care. Like, bro, I'm just here to work.
Yeah.
Who I work with don't matter. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna do what I gotta do and go home. Your quality of life just becomes better, but it's hard and not even to sit here and act like I'd have totally dealt with my shame stuff. Like it's a daily process, but I'm comprehending it.
Yeah.
I'm able to kind of speak on it, and that's part of the healing process of shame, is being able to come forward and be like, yeah, I was fucking up for real.
Yeah.
But I had to deal with it. I understood why. And now I'm kind of transitioning to the other side of, okay, I know where I was, and now let's focus on where I'm at and where I'm going. And I mean, I think anybody can do it. It's just a willingness to want to do it. I can't really speak for nobody but myself, but if they want it bad enough, I think they'll be able to.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let me quick. 1 second. Man, all right. All the little technical difficulties today. That's all good. But no, man. I think one of the biggest shame is your monster. You got to deal with, and I think there's a lot of people who they don't have a name for whatever it is. Excuse me. They don't have a name for whatever it is that they're going through. And once it has a name, you kind of then have a choice to deal with it or not.
Right. And that's a hard part is figuring out what it is.
Yeah.
What is it that I'm shameful of? And I mean, it probably took me almost a solid month. I'd say at least 3 weeks of constantly thinking and thinking and thinking and reading and thinking and reading and thinking and being like, okay, asking myself certain questions and finally being able to pinpoint not exactly what it was, but a time in my life where I could kind of be like, this is what I remember.
Yeah, like where it started. Yeah.
Oh
shit, man. I appreciate you opening up and talking about this, man. I think it's very important, and I think it's gonna. So I want to see younger men get involved in these conversations, seeing these conversations, because it'd be easier, especially for young dudes who don't have a dad or a father figure that they can go to consistently.
yeah.
Because it's this information is just like a game shark, man. It's the cheat codes. It's like, oh, you want to not go through this BS? You want to the epiphanies that you and I had at 28. You should be having these at 18, at 21.
And man, it would save so much headache.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's messed up. Just I guess how as a young man, you just taught body count.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Rack them up.
Yeah.
The higher the number, the better, and you get that when you get it so embedded in your head that it becomes a way of life, and then all of a sudden you got to change it.
Yeah.
So the quicker that we can stop beating that into young men's heads, the better their quality of life will become.
Yeah.
And a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Because then they don't have to be in this repetitive cycle, and they can just be like, okay, well, every woman I've been with, I've been in a relationship with her, and my goal was to be with her
right
for X amount of time. If that didn't work, that didn't work. But I wasn't out here racking up bodies, because the problem is when you get into that mindset, it's just hard to break it.
It's hard to break it, and then you only start seeing women
as a number,
as a number, and for not as a human being. And then when it comes time for you to want to finally get to a point where you're like, oh man, maybe I should be looking at them as my equal and all this other stuff. You in your late 30s, 40s, what you.
And everybody.
And then you want somebody who don't have no trauma. Because you been out there with your homeboys slinging and banging.
Right.
And you think this virginal woman's going to come from the sky, this magical woman with no past, no history, no nothing. It's going to come from the sky and just be able to just accept you for who you are, how you are, and no questions asked, and you just supposed to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, nah.
False.
Nah.
Do you this and the thing is we're taught this.
Yeah.
We're taught this, and it's as much as women will be like, oh, he a dog, he out here honing and stuff, that's background noise. Because you don't understand how this works, sweetheart.
Right.
You don't understand this game. You
wasn't taught.
What
us guys was taught.
And then you start to realize, oh, no, I am a dog. Oh,
yeah.
No, I should not be out here doing this. You know what I'm saying? And then
why so-and-so don't got as much drama in his relationship as I got in mine? Why they look happy?
Exactly.
And then it's dang. Bro, because he realized what you realizing right now 5 years ago.
Exactly. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Somebody trying to get me to go out right now in these streets, I'm pass. No. Hard pass, B. I'm not.
Man, I ain't seen you in a while.
It's look, I ain't got no time to be learning anybody else's favorite color.
What the streets got for me? Nothing.
All this other, no. I was I'm good where I'm at right now. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I'm in the house. I'm boring as shit, and I love it.
Can't be mad at nothing.
No, at all. I'm out here reading, writing a book, working on my podcast, playing video games.
With no time for the foolishness.
No time for foolishness. Like, I'm trying to eat healthy. Can't go to the gym. That's it, bro. I ain't got time for nothing else. I don't want no problem.
Yeah,
no
miss
problem.
me with
No
all of
problems.
that. If it ain't making me $1.
Yeah, exactly. Because you realize that the amount of energy you putting out chasing tail, you could have putting that energy into creating your dream.
Exactly.
The amount of money you spend going out trying to
At the bar.
put the little entrapments and like get the allurements going on, buying outfits at the bar, buying drinks for somebody you don't even really like.
Yeah, I seen a thing online the other day. It was like, man, the second a bad joint come around, your man pull out $1,600 to buy a pack of gum. And she like, man, I remember that point in my life. Where, I mean, I'm at the store and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to find it. It doesn't make no sense. It's like, yeah, how dumb was I? I'm out here pulling out 2 bands at Wawa trying to buy a juice for what?
Right.
To appease some woman that only gonna want me for that knot that
Exactly.
I got. Man, it don't even make sense.
To assume that she even was like
that type of woman.
That woman like, I too make money.
Yeah.
But mine's in the bank account. I don't keep it on me. That ain't safe.
Mine's double that. Yeah, never knew them type of people existed. Then you get older and you like, dang. Then you get the joints where you be like, man, I'm really ready to settle down. And they be like, I heard about you. Don't want nothing to do with you. Heard about you. You a dog. You this and you that. And I changed. Nah. It ain't worth my peace. It's like, dang, bro.
Right? And you can't blame them.
Then you got to start questioning yourself. Like, bro, what? Not worth my peace. I got to get my life together. Because, no, that's the most, dang, that hurt.
Yeah.
Not worth my peace. Nah,
right. She ain't like, and that's fair because she ain't got no time to be waking up in the middle of the night to find you not being in the side of that bed.
Yeah. Why your phone ringing at 3 a.m.?
Huh?
Yeah. I don't even. That's your phone. None of that. You know what I mean? So at that point, you just had to check yourself. Like, nah, where's my? I'm trying to be your peace. I'm not trying. Nah, hell no.
No, because you would never be with a woman like that. No. Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
crazy.
that's why it's so important for us to be more in our purpose and be locked into it, so that we don't have to put ourselves through that, and definitely not put another human being through that, because that's not fair to them. Somebody who's coming at you with good intention, and then you out there doing the worst.
Yeah,
man.
Then it's messed up, man, because your mindset just thinks that ain't nobody getting hurt.
Right.
I'm all right. I'm just out here having a good time, but.
Yeah, that good time, somebody's daughter and all that good stuff.
Exactly. And so, now I got daughters. So
yeah, exactly. Like, so now you really woo! Woo, Jack. But you're gonna be good. You're gonna be good. Yeah. They're not even gonna know that person.
Nah, and see, that was like the one thing with like my youngest daughter, I was just like, man, I gotta get my life together, because like Slim, you gotta grow up with both your parents. The way this world going, I need to be around you as much as possible.
Exactly.
Like, they snatching kids up like it's going out of style.
Oh, wow.
These women out here tricking themselves. Nah.
Yeah. Nah.
Like, gotta get right. Cool. Gotta be the good male figure and role model, because it's too many women out here that got daddy issues and it's turning to the wrong type of fellas. And my daughters ain't, gotta get it right for them, because the hell with that.
Yeah. Well,
and that ain't no shot at, you know what I mean, no woman that's got daddy issues, you know what I mean? You grow through what you go through, but I'm not gonna be the reason that my daughter grew up with daddy
like issues. you wanna cut that curse, you wanna cut that pattern out, so it's just like that's foreign to them. They don't need to know what that means.
Of course. And that's can't have it.
Yeah. And it's good that you're changing and you're evolving, because I mean, folks deal with. I was telling one of my friends, and she was like, it was her dad trying to holler at her homegirls, so she just would not bring her friends home from college.
Crazy.
And it's like these parents are married. They've been married. But it's like, mom ain't going nowhere. Mom ain't leaving. But it's just like, Pop shooting a shot at your friends when they come over and shit. And it's just like, I don't want to be that dad.
Not at
and
all.
I don't want to hang out. Like, when I get to that certain age, I'm like, bro, you out here trying to holler at your daughter's friends?
Bro, I said it to my pops. He was like, man, I know you seen that joint. I was like, honestly, I'm not even looking. Like, I didn't see it. You saw it. I didn't see it.
High five.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You 50 something, I'm 28.
Yeah.
You still looking, and I'm trying to block that out.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
nah. It's wild. Life will teach you some things. It's crazy. Gotta deal with the monsters, man.
Yeah, man, you got to, or they'll deal with you.
Yeah. Whether you ready or not.
Yeah. All right, let's end it right here, bro. This is good. This is good. Next time we come back into town, man, let's do some other stuff. We can definitely get on your music next time, without a doubt.
Hopefully I had some shit, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, listening. Like, subscribe, share. Y'all know what to do. Nice.
Hey.